Hi, I want to help you with something today that we all struggle with, and every person on the planet does, and that's worry. Jesus addressed this, and he did it by telling a parable about a sower. You'll remember the parable. He said that there's a sower that goes out and he's sowing seed. And some of the seed that he sows falls along the road. And there's no place for it to really grow into the soil, and the birds come, they take the seed, and it's gone. He said some of the seed, it goes among the rocky places, and there's not much dirt there. The sun comes up, and as soon as that seed begins to germinate and grow something, the sun wilts it instantly. Then he said there's another place that the seed goes, and that's among the thorns, the thorny places. And thorns, they try and just choke out the seed. And then he said lastly, that there's some good soil. Sometimes the seed goes into good soil. As he interprets the parable, he says that the seed represents the word of the kingdom. And he said that the soil represents the heart of man. The thorns that go to attack the seed, that the thorns represent worries of the world and the deceitfulness of riches. And those worries and the deceitfulness of riches choke out the seed and keep it from growing. Worry really is like a disease. It's horrible. It chokes out life. It chokes out life inside of us. It chokes out the Word of God inside of us. Fortunately for you and I, there is an antidote and there is a cure for every thorny thought of worry that you and I will ever have. When the Roman soldiers had Jesus and it was their job to crucify him, they beat him, they whipped him, they pulled his beard out, but they also gathered some thorns and they weaved them into a crown that looks something like this. These are actually thorns from the Middle East. They are long, probably 1-inch thorns. And they put it upon the head of Jesus and they pounded on it and drove these sharp thorns through his skin to his skull. Blood began to flow down his face, all around his head. This demonic idea actually backfired because it became the antidote and the cure for every worry that you and I would experience. Jesus provided for everything on the cross. Our healing in our body, our salvation. He paid for our forgiveness, the removal of sin. He paid for death, all of those things. And he even went as far as to take care of the worry that he knew would afflict you and I. As his blood was flowing, he was paying for, he was providing the antidote to worries that afflict you and I. Worries that come when there are money problems, worries that come when we don't know what is going to happen, the things that are ahead of us, where fear and concern and worry tries to creep in and choke out the promises, the word of the kingdom. Jesus has paid for that. Every person can be free from worry. Every person can be free from that anxiety that afflicts them. Jesus paid for it. He has made a way for us to be free, for us to have complete peace in our soul, peace in our minds, so we can think clearly, so that the word of the kingdom is not stolen or choked out on the inside of us. He cared so much for us that he paid for our worry on the cross.